Well, welcome. I am so excited to have you join me for the Well Balanced Life with Dr. Dana, where we are aligning our faith, our life, and wholeness. It's your girl, Dr. Dana, and I am ecstatic to have you with me. So, listen, go grab your tea and just snuggle up, and we are going to talk. Well, listen, I know that some of you already know me, but for those of you that do not, I want to take a chance to introduce myself to you. So, who is this girl, Dr. Dana Ray Bennett, that I'm getting ready to spend a little bit of time with while I am sipping my tea? Well, I'm so glad you asked. I am a wife, I am a mother. I was in corporate for over 25 years, leading other leaders. I am a co pastor, an author, a public speaker. I'm a friend, a sister, a homegirl, all the things. That is who I am. And I'm just excited to share a little piece of who I am with you. And I'm hoping that over time I get to glimpse into who you are as well. So let's get at it. Today we are going to be talking about playing in the gray. And before we jump into exactly what that means, let me just share with you a little bit about who I am in my journey and why this is important. So, for those of you who do know me, you know I'm a huge mental health and wellness advocate, and I talk a lot about my journey. But what I discovered along the way is that journey to wellness was not just about prayer and therapy and pills. It was also about some other amazing discoveries that I made along the way. And that's what I'm hoping to share with you all on today. It was a time to sit back and reflect and allow God to really show me some things. And one of the things that He showed me that really made a huge impact in this journey was perspective. My perspective on people, on things that had happened to me, on who I was and how I showed up. The Lord really dealt with me a lot about perspective. And one of the things that I have learned just really over the last, I think, 24 months is about playing in the gray. So I am a highly analytical person. That's just kind of how I'm bent. And even my career lent itself to that personality. I was in the corporate compliance space. And so I worked a lot with regulators and rules and analyzing data. And it worked well with my personality because something either was breaking the law or it wasn't. And it was my job to make sure that we understood the black and white of things. That's really how my life ends was. It either was or it wasn't. You were either my friend or you weren't. We were either right or it was wrong. It was either truth or it was a lie. And what the Lord had to show me was that there is this gray space. Not everything either is or isn't. There are some moments and there are some things that the beauty is actually in the middle. It's in the gray. And that's really where I began to find forgiveness. It was in the gray. I found grace for myself and for others in the gray. I found peace a lot of times hung in the gray. I even found joy hiding out in the gray. And so, where the Lord began to show me, Dana, you have made this thing either black or white. And here I am trying to show you forgiveness right here in the gray. So, I was able to find a lot of letting go and unlearning in that gray space. And what I have found is that there are so many other beautiful colors, if you will, to life when you learn to stop seeing things just as black or white, right or wrong, either or. There's this beauty of the and that's where the gray is. And so I've been open to a lot more ideas about who I am, what I can be, how I show up, relationships, the different nuances of relationships. And it's even spilled over into my relationship with God. I think, without a shadow of a doubt, I had placed such extreme limitations on God because I was looking at my relationship with God from a standpoint of either or. And God is like, no, honey, you don't either or me. I'm all and then some. And I had to really shift my perspective on who He is. And because He's all and then some, and because I'm made in His DNA and in His image, then so can I be all and then some as well in the capacity that I'm called to be. And so taking the limits off of God really opened up this idea of taking limits off of myself as well, taking limits off of relationships, opening and shifting my eyes to things that were always there. I just couldn't see them because I was looking for the black or the white of it, the either or the or of it, the right or the wrong of it. And not everything is that neatly packaged into two little separate boxes. Life is messy, life is nuanced, people are multifaceted, and it is very difficult to do life with other people expecting them to be this or that. We've got to allow, and this is the lesson that I learned. I said, Dana, you got to allow for the gray. And the thing that I thought was too messy, the energy that I spent trying to tie everything up in a nice little bow, now I'm just like, listen, it is what it is. and and I am learning to love and accept what life looks like when there is a perspective shift on all the different colors that can be available in a relationship or a situation. It's also helped me with this idea that I have of even justice and fairness in the type of business that I was in. And I think just my past and history, I've been a person who has just always sought for justice and fairness because I felt like so many things in my life were outside of my control. So many things have happened that I felt were unjust or not fair, that I didn't have a choice over. And what I came to know is fairness and justice, even those things aren't always black and white. That what may seem right for one situation is completely inappropriate for another. What may seem fair for one situation is actually unjust in another. And I stopped looking for things to be fair and I started looking for things like equity. I started looking for things like inclusion. I started looking for things like grace and mercy and forgiveness and understanding. And those things have served my life a lot better than the justice that I used to be in such pursuit of. And so I just want to encourage somebody out there who can relate to this, who has been holding on to something having to look a certain way in order to find peace in a situation. If I can offer you anything, it's this, what I said at the beginning. I found forgiveness in the gray. I found grace in the gray. I really, truly found God in the gray. So I just want to encourage somebody to take a moment while you're sipping your tea and to say, Lord, help me find you in the gray. Show me where I may have been too rigid, where I may have just dug in my heels on something, and I need to find you in the space called gray. Regardless to what your day has been like, what your life has been like up until this point, the fact that you are still breathing means that there is hope. And remember, the day goes on. I've enjoyed our time together, but please meet me here on next week where we are going to be talking about the well-balanced life. What does that really mean anyway? We'll tune in so you can find out.